Movie starts with a 12-year-old boy named Call. He is apparently a very coward child. He has only one friend named Melanie. Because of being this coward, everybody bullied him. The people that bullied him outside school included Jeremy and his minions. Jeremy is also Call's neighbor. They are still bullying him when Call's babysitter Bee, like usual, comes to rescue him and scares them away. Call and Bee has a really good friendship, and Call also has a crush on Bee. Bee drops Call home and leaves. In the next scene we see Call's father teaching him to drive, but Call couldn't drive because of his fear. His father says he will learn driving with time. Next day in the school bus he tells Melanie his parents are going to spend a night at the hotel. Here Melanie tells Call that babysitters often call their boyfriends after putting the baby to sleep. Call decides that at night he will stay awake to see what Bee does. Time passes and night comes. Call's parents go to the hotel, leaving Call alone with Bee. After his parents leave, Call and Bee enjoys a lot, after which Bee says it's too late, they should sleep now. As Bee goes to get the shots, Call pours the shot into the flower pot and pretends to have taken the shot in front of Bee. Bee drinks her shots and Call comes to his room saying he wants to sleep and FaceTimes with Melanie to tell her everything. That he will spy on Bee and her boyfriend. He hears Bee coming and lays on the bed pretending to sleep. Bee comes into his room and asks if he is feeling sleepy. Call portrays himself sleepy, then he thanks Bee that she is friends with a weird kid like him. Bee says to Call that she likes him being weird, then Bee leaves saying goodnight to Call. As Bee leaves, Call starts to message Melanie. After some time Call hears the doorbell and he also hears a few people entering the house. Call crawls from the room to the staircase and secretly keeps an eye on them. They're Bee's friends Max, Allison, John, Sonia and Samuel are sitting in a circle playing Truth and Dare. Call sees that as the bottle is spins for Truth and Dare, it stops on Bee and she chooses Dare. Max gives her the dare to kiss everybody in the room. Bee kisses everybody one by one and at last Samuel's turn comes. Samuel is hesitating when Bee asks him to relax. When he relaxes, Bee kisses him. After kissing him, Bee suddenly inserts 2 knives in Samuel's head. And all the friend collects the blood coming out of Samuel in a sort of cup. With this scene we can interpret they are performing a satanic ritual and Samuel was their sacrifice for the ritual. Call, who secretly seeing all this, gets into a shock. Max clears Samuel's body and Bee takes out a very old book which according to Bee is Devil's Bible. Upon John's question, she tells that while reciting the verse from the book, if they pour blood on it their wishes will come true. She closes the book and says now they have to go to Call to get the blood because in order to complete the ritual they need an innocent child's blood. Call gets scared and runs to his room and calls the police. Call tells them that a murder was committed in his living room and they are now coming into his room. Police officer takes all the information and asks Call to hide. Call, without listening to them, takes out a pocket knife from his drawer to keep himself safe. Then he looks outside the window to analyze the distance. Just then he hears Bee and his friends coming upstairs. Call lays on the bed and pretends to be sleeping. All of them comes to his room and Bee tells them he has given him a drug due to which he will not wake up. Meaning the shots Bee gave to Call were drugged. They take out his blood through a syringe. Call is really scared of the needle, but here very difficultly he hides his fear. After taking the blood they leave, but when Bee is about to step out of the room she finds the room's window open and she gets suspicious. When Call hears the door shut he gets up and starts to make a rope with the bed sheets and throws it outside the window. He is getting ready to jump but he falls unconscious due to blood loss. Bee is standing behind him watching everything. When Call regains consciousness he sees all of Bee's friends standing in front of him and he is tied to a chair. Bee is asking Call why didn't he take the shots. During the conversation Call takes out the pocket knife and starts cutting the rope. Bee asks him what else has he seen. Call doesn't give any relevant answer and counter questions her. Allison tells him that there is mirror behind in which they can see him cutting the ropes. He keeps on cutting the ropes. Call pretends he doesn't know anything and he was running because they took his blood. Bee believes him and says they took his blood for a science project. Call says if she had asked him for the blood he would have given it to her himself. Bee says to him that she didn't want to scare him. Bee orders Sonia to untie Colonel. Sonia moves forward to untie Call, but right then police arrive. Upon hearing Call's voice the cops barge in, breaking the doors and keeping their guns pointed. Max throws a rod towards the police officer and during this Allison gets shot and Bee slits the throat of the other officer. Police officer's walkie-talkie falls there that the backup police officers who ask about the situation in codes. Bee knows that Call wants to be a police officer. So Bee asks the code from Call but he tells her the wrong code. Bee says she knows Call is lying. She forces him to tell the code so he gives up and tells her the code. Just then Allison, who had been shot, starts whining, due to which everybody is attracted to her. Call uses this distraction to cut his ropes and starts running. Seeing him running, John runs after him. Call runs upstairs to his room and John is following him when Call turns around and pushes John down the stairs. He is slipped by Coel's toy car and falls down, and Call's trophy is passed through his neck. B asks them to catch Call and Max goes after him. Call quickly goes to his room and locks the door. Max keeps on knocking the door. Call is going through the sheet ropes when Max comes to the window. When Max tries to pull the rope towards himself, Call leaves the rope and falls down. Max leaves the ropes, gets out of the house to chase Call. Call hides under the car in the garage before Max could come. Max is unable to find Call, so he goes to the neighborhood to search. To keep himself safe, Call takes some stuff from the garage. He takes these things to the crawl space. There are plenty spiders in the crawl space. Call, getting rid of them, hides and takes a blanket on himself. Sonia comes there and sees the drills of the crawl space open and guesses Call might be in it. Sonia goes into the crawl space with a torch and starts to search for Call. A spider is seen crawling on the blanket under which Call is hiding. Sonia shows affection to the spider and turns around to get out. Call flicks the spider, due to which it dies in the trap. Upon hearing the snap of the trap, Sonia looks at Call and starts to getting close to him with a knife. Call lights up the rocket and sends in towards Sonia, but rocket gets stuck in the soil. When Call gets out the blanket, knife falls from Sonia's hand and her hands get stuck into the trap. Call quickly gets out of the crawl space and drills it back. Soya comes to the drill and Call sprays the bug spray on her. The rocket inside catches fire and blast occurs, due to which Call falls back. Call is lying there when he sees Max coming towards him clapping. Max appreciates him and gives him a head start. Call hits him with the bug spray and starts running from there. Call remembers the technique B told him. He stops running and hit him. Max gets angry and picks up Call with his neck, and they hear eggs throws at the house. Max takes Call to the house's porch and he encourages Call to take revenge from Jeremy. Call, determined, goes to Jeremy and tries to hit him but falls himself. He tells Jeremy that the man standing near his house is trying to kill him. He asks him for help. Jeremy shows sympathy and tells him to run with him on the count of 3. On the count of 3, Jeremy smashes an egg on Call and leaves, making fun of him. Max comes to him, gets him up and encourages him to be more confident. Call asks him will he let him go now? Max replies that he has a will to kill people, so he won't let him go. Call hits him and runs on the treehouse and cuts the stairs. Max circles the tree and makes fun of the ropes that are tied on either side of the tree. While searching for a way out, Call looks at the rope and tries to jump on it, whereas through the other rope Max climbs in front of him. Max cleans the egg from Call's face but gets it on his own hands. He moves forward and holds Call by his neck. Just then the wood breaks below them. Max tries to hold something, but because of the eggs he slips and the rope gets tangled in his neck and he dies. Call falls down and is looking at Max's hanged body. When B fires at him with a gun, he runs pretty scared and gets into Melanie's house. He tells Melanie everything. Melanie believes him. Meanwhile, B comes there searching for Colonel. He apologizes to Melanie that he got her into this trouble as well. He asks Melanie to call the police and tell the code. He says all this and gets out of the house and calls B out loud. He doesn't get a response, so he goes back to his house and is shocked to see no spot of any activity and the house is fully clean. He comes to the living room and sees Allison on the chair, apparently dead. Call checks her but doesn't get any reaction, so he moves towards the Devil's Bible. In the kitchen, Call is looking at the book when Allison attacks him and starts to hit him. Call touches her gun wounds, so she falls back. She says bad stuff to Call and once again attacks him with the knives. Call tries to scare her with a stove lighter. Just then B shoots Allison and her head is blasted. Call cleverly picks up the Devil's Bible and threatens B that he will burn it. Call angrily asks her why were they doing all this. B tells him that by sacrificing and pouring the innocent's blood on the book while reciting the verse will fulfill every wish. She also tells him she was just like Call as a kid, so she made a deal with the devil to become confident. Call tells her that he heard their conversation and he knows B was only using him for herself. He asks her if he is the first kid. B tells him that she changes the town every time and babysits kids like Call and then takes their blood. B asks him to reconcile with him and tell everybody the others attack them. Call hesitates. It seems like he would give B the book, but he lights it up and throws it. B gets to the book and tries to blow the fire off. Seeing her distracted, Call runs outside and gets Melanie's father's car. Call crashes that car in his house and B is smashed under the car. Call gets out of the car and gets to injured B. Call confesses his feelings for her and they share an emotional moment. B dies and Call comes out leaving her there. Then police and Call's parents arrive. They come to Call and ask him what happened. Without answering their question, he says he doesn't need a babysitter anymore. In all the scenarios, Call somewhat overcomes all of his fears. In the post-credit scenes, B is shown attacking a police officer, with which we can interpret that B did not die. Allison was shot but she didn't die, which concludes that these people are not easy to kill. Hope you enjoyed the video and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.